What's the deal, YouTube? I'm back with another reaction video. Shit, we got a long ass video today. I ain't gonna lie. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We got EBK Jaaybo, the Reaper. Shit, this is not a music video. I think this is, well, obviously, nigga, ain't no music video. 15 minutes. Shit, it's a little, I don't know, documented. I don't know what it is. We finna get into it though. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We on the road to 2,000 subs. Bro. Let's get into it.
EBK Jaaybo is one of the hottest rappers on the West Coast right now. He keeps catching gun charges though. And today we're diving into his wild come up and the deadly war going on that makes him stay strapped up at all times. EBK Jaaybo was born and raised in the southeast area of Stockton around 2100 Nightingale Avenue. He said that back in the day when he was a kid, the Southeast wasn't that crazy and everyone was just focused on hustling and making money instead of gangbanging. But that all changed when Jaaybo and his homies came up. Jaaybo hopped off the porch when he was around 12 years old and started stealing cars and breaking into houses. He got caught robbing a crib when he was like 14, and Jaaybo tried to do the race and drive off in a stolen whip. He didn't really know how to drive though, so he just pulled over and let the cops take him to juvie. He was
That nigga said he just pulled over. Bro,
now to juvie on little charges from 12
I would have took them niggas on a, what? Good chase. Oh God.
15 years old, and none of the early cases were that serious. But when he turned 15,
he got 12, he got a year for pulling over, fool.
Jaaybo caught his first real charge. It's not clear exactly what went down, but Jaaybo ended up getting booked on an attempted murder case. Since he was a minor when it happened, there isn't any public info about the situation, and Jaaybo has never talked about it either. When he went to juvie, Jaaybo was running phase all the time and getting into trouble. He could have been home a lot earlier, but he said he just wouldn't listen to anyone and kept getting time added for breaking rules on the inside. He actually graduated from high school while he was locked up, but Jaaybo was working on music at the same time from behind bars. He had been rapping his whole life, but never really took it seriously. Back in the day, he would pound on tables at school and freestyle for the homies though. Everyone around him knew he had skill.
Bro, I feel like that's every nigga background story, fool. Oh God. Nigga beating on it. Being on the desk at the school, no cap.
But Jaaybo was neck deep in the trenches and wasn't even thinking about becoming a rapper. What a lot of Jaaybo's fans don't know is that his dad was actually a poppin' rapper in Stockton back in the day named Rory. Rory came up on Nightingale Avenue too. His mom was addicted to drugs the whole time he was growing
Nigga, this is Jaaybo dad?
up, and his dad was always going in and out of jail, so Rory was mostly raised by his grandma. Rory's grandma was really strict with him back in the day and did her best to keep Rory out of the streets. Growing up in her house, he couldn't even listen to rap because his grandma didn't like all the swearing, but Rory still ended up in the trenches. He started breaking into houses and getting into trouble, but what really changed everything for him is when Rory found a local rapper's tape in an abandoned house he broke into with his homies. Nobody knows who the artist was, but it was the first time Rory heard anyone shouting out Stockton on a song, and that's what made him want to hop in the booth and become a rapper. Another big reason he wanted to get out of the trenches was losing his homies to gun violence. Back in 2002, Rory was chilling on the block with his friend Aaron Vickers and some other dudes. Earlier that day, Rory and Aaron had seen cars go by for a funeral and were talking about how they wouldn't want to go through losing a homie like that. Then just a few hours later, Rory watched Aaron die right in front of him. While they were standing on the street, someone pulled through and started letting off shots. Bullets went everywhere and put holes in the crib they were standing in front of, but Aaron was the only one who got hit. Seeing his best friend get killed like that made Rory realize he needed to switch things up, and that's when he really started going hard with the music. But just like Jaaybo, Rory's trouble with the cops kept getting in the way of his rap career. One time he was on probation, and someone in Atlanta wanted to meet with him about a record deal. Rory had been gangbanging, but really wanted to switch up how he moved and make it out of the streets with music. But his parole officer said he couldn't go to Atlanta.
Damn, hold on. I ain't never heard, bro. This the first time I'm really hearing about Jaaybo dad, bro. He don't really talk about him. He don't do too much about him, but I ain't know he was a rapper.
Rory knew it was a huge opportunity though, so he took the risk and went out to Atlanta without telling his PO. Unfortunately, the deal didn't work out for him though, and to make it even worse, his parole officer found out about the trip and Rory got booked again for violating his parole. Rory still didn't let it stop his grind though. He came back home and went right back to work. He started
Bro, them bitch ass POs, bro. Like, he trying to do his thing. He trying to make a way for his family. Nigga, like, come on.
investing his own money into the rap game and set up his own studio. He even taught himself how to make beats so he wouldn't have to wait around for other producers to send him their tracks. It took a while to get his name popping, but eventually all the hard work paid off. Rari was racking up thousands of streams, getting booked for shows, and linking up with other rappers in the city like Tall T. Tall T was a battle rapper from Stockton who was getting a lot of buzz on his name. He had been in the underground scene for years and was about to really pop off. But then in 2012, he was brutally murdered in broad daylight. Tall T was sitting in Long Park with his girlfriend when someone came up and tapped him on the shoulder. Then Tall T turned around and they upped the strap and shot him in the face.
Damn.
Nobody knows why the shooter wanted him dead, but Tall T's death was a massive loss for the Stockton rap game. The shooting also had a big impact on Rari. He'd only known Tall T for like a year before he was killed, but they got super close and were in the studio together all the time. Rari was still on probation and trying to stay out of trouble, and he said that Tall T is the one who really pushed him to stay on the grind and keep focused in the rap game. Rari was also trying to get Jaaybo involved with music back then. Jaaybo was just a kid, but Rari would bring him to the studio and have him sing on tracks whenever Rari had an R&B artist pull through and record. Rari was making all the right moves and was finally on his way up in the industry, but then he was tragically murdered while trying to protect his kids. It's not clear exactly how it went down, but this is the story according to some sources. When Jaaybo was around 11 years old, some teenagers in the hood robbed him and his brother. Rari had just finished 7 years of probation and was really trying to stay out of trouble, but he wasn't going to let someone just rob his kids and get away with it. So Rari allegedly tracked the teenagers down to press them about it. Nobody knows what really happened next, but after Rari found him, one of the teenagers allegedly pulled out a gun and killed Rari on the spot. Losing his dad changed everything for Jaaybo. If Rari was still alive and made it in the music industry, there's no telling what kind of life Jaaybo would.
Damn. This nigga got killed by some minors, fool. Damn. I ain't gonna lie, that's sick, bro.
Teenagers in the hood robbed him and his brother. Rari had just finished 7 years of probation and was really trying to stay out of trouble, but he wasn't going to let someone just rob his kids and get away with it. So Rari allegedly tracked the teenagers down to press them about it. Nobody knows what really happened next, but after Rari found him, one of the teenagers allegedly pulled out a gun and killed Rari on the spot. Losing his dad changed everything for Jaaybo. If Rari was still alive and made it in the music industry, there's no telling what kind of life Jaaybo would have had. But after Rari was killed, it didn't take long for Jaaybo to jump off the porch and get active. Eventually, Jaaybo hopped in the booth and started dropping music. He was working with a company called Thizzler on the Roof, and they were really trying to push Jaaybo into the industry. He was running up millions of views on YouTube, but he had too much going on in the streets to really focus on the rap game, and that's how he ended up back in jail. Even though he wasn't even trying to make it in the industry, Jaaybo was getting a lot of buzz on his name on the West Coast. Stockton doesn't have a huge rap scene, but Jaaybo and his homies were kicking off a new wave that was getting a lot of attention in the city. A lot of them were popping off for rap, but behind the music was a bloody war with their ops in the street. EBK has only been around for a few years, but they're already one of the most notorious crews in the city. They say that they're just a rap collective and aren't involved with the streets, but the cops officially classified them as a gang back in 2018. It's not clear how much work Jaaybo was putting in for the crew, but since 2019, they've been making all kinds of headlines for turning Stockton into a war zone. Back in 2019, a dude named Ronald Celestine was shot and killed in a drive-by. Reports say it was 2 EBK affiliates who pulled the trigger, and 3 days later, they spun through his hood again and shot up a candlelight vigil that Ronald's family put on. 5 people were hurt during the shooting at the vigil, and one of them tragically didn't make it out alive. Ronald's cousin Benny Lott wasn't affiliated with the streets at all and just came to the vigil to honor his cousin. But the streets of Stockton are so crazy that you can't even go to a funeral without worrying about getting shot. The cops ended up arresting 2 EBK affiliates named Brian Norman and Raymoni Gaines for the shooting. EBK had a lot of heat on them after Ronald and Benny's deaths, but just 2 days after the shooting at the vigil, they allegedly slid into North Stockton and hit up 2 more ops. The police had a lot of pressure to cool the streets off, and a few months later, they ended up booking 9 EBK affiliates for murder, robbery, and a bunch of other charges. Everything calmed down for a while after that, but then a whole new wave of violence sparked up and tore Stockton apart. Before Jaaybo started blowing up, the first dude affiliated with EBK who was buzzing in the rap game was a dude named Young Slowby. Young Slowby was on the grind for years before he started popping. He had to invest a lot of cash in his own career before anyone was even paying attention. But eventually, it all started coming together. Slow was making a lot of noise in Stockton, but he really leveled up when he got tight with a rapper from Sacramento named Briss. Slow and Briss both came up in the trenches and had a lot of chemistry in the booth. And their track 2142 popped off and ran up millions of streams. Briss had been rapping for a long time too, but the link up with Slows will change everything for both of them. They had plans to take over the West.
This shit is fucking crazy, bro. They story, both of them niggas, like, for them to be that good and just to go out like that, bro, that shit was crazy, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Post together, but what nobody knew back then is that they were both about to lose their lives to the trenches. While Slow and Briss were linking up and putting on for the West Coast, Briss was beefing with two other rappers from Sacramento named Uzi Marcus and Mozzie. Briss had personal beef with Uzi Marcus because they both had history with the same girl, and Uzi made the drama public when he dissed Briss on the track 42K and rapped, "Keep it real, you niggas ain't killed a fly, and if it's money on my head, why the fuck I'm still alive? You niggas ain't popping shit, they're really just talking shit. Where they at? I'm right here on 42nd with the stick. Lil Briss, he a pussy, and Lil Danny, he a bitch. Keep playing, I'll be outside your grannies with the switch." Briss had issues with Mozzie because he was homies with a rapper from Sacramento named CML Lavish D. Lavish D and Mozzie have been going back and forth for years, and both sides are taking losses in the beef. After Mozzie dissed Lavish D, his homie Zilla Zoe was murdered first. Then a few months later, his homie Jacoby James was killed too. Lavish D's homie Stunner D was killed next, and that's when Briss allegedly got caught up in the beef too. Rumors said that Mozzie's crew was still trying to even the score, and they caught up to Briss in June 2020 while he was driving down the street. Someone started letting off shots, and Briss crashed into a pole. He hopped out of the car and tried to run away, but unfortunately, Briss wasn't fast enough, and the ops shot him to death. Briss's death had a major impact on young Slowby, but he was still trying to keep the momentum up and stay on his grind. And a year after Briss died, Slow really hit the mainstream when his track I Love You went viral on TikTok. It looked like he was going to be one of the first rappers from Stockton to really go up in the industry. But then in 2022, young Slowby was found dead in the street. Rumors say that both their deaths were tied into the beef with Mozzie and CML Lavish D, but there's a good chance that Slow was killed by EBK's ops in Stockton. EBK's biggest ops are a set called Trap Mob, aka Flyboys. Jaaybo's been sending shots at them ever since he hopped in the booth, like on the track The Apocalypse when he rapped,
"Hey, that's who he be talking about.
Up it on the biggest nigga moving. I'm a Glock lifter, a shot sender, and I'm spanking any mob member. And hey brother, get up on that hoe and I'ma knock."
Because I don't know who that is. I'm sorry. Hey, I'm not into that life. It could get like that though.
Sister, fuck the mob. I told y'all keep my name up out y'all cocklickers. Rumors say Trap Mob might have been involved with young Slowby's death, and Jaaybo aired him out about it on the track Slowby Mode. Jaaybo was locked up when Slowby was killed, and on the track, he rapped, "It's not a nigga around me loafing, everybody strapped. Just left Scribner Street, where was everybody at? And I'm with Rico from the 10 when niggas come to sack. And aha, a flag just got squashed, bring your brother back. Suckers killed Slow B, now I'm home, another tomato coming." What's really weird about the situation with young Slowby and Briss is that Jaaybo was still bumping Mozzie's music on social media. There's nothing tying Mozzie to Slow's death, but a lot of fans are confused because Briss was beefing with Mozzie when he died, and young Slowby was super tight with Briss. Then when people were dissing Jaaybo for not sliding after young Slowby died, he hopped on IG and dissed Mozzie's dead homie K Squeeze. K Squeeze allegedly killed another rapper named Lil Jody Woe. Then one day later, K Squeeze was shot to death too. Jaaybo wasn't just sending shots on songs on social media though. He's known for throwing hands every time he—
Hold on. Nigga, what? A day later?
Tying Mozzie to Slow's death, but a lot of fans are confused because Briss was beefing with Mozzie when he died, and young Slowby was super tight with Briss. Then when people were dissing Jaaybo for not sliding after young Slowby died, he hopped on IG and dissed Mozzie's dead homie K Squeeze.
Niggas saying blank EBK and go slide for Slowby when K Squeeze dispensary weed.
K Squeeze allegedly killed another rapper named Lil Jody Woe. Then one day later, K Squeeze was shot to death too. Jaaybo wasn't just sending shots on songs on social media though. He's known for throwing hands every time he gets locked up too. Once he was locked up in county with a massive op named Seawalk, who everyone was allegedly scared to fight. but Jaaybo didn't back down from the fade. During an IG live session, Jaaybo said that C-Walk dissed him right when he got to jail, but they couldn't fight because the yard was hot, so they planned to run the fade the next day.
What's up, nigga? He like, yeah, I'm C-Walk, cuz townhomes, da-da-da. I'm like, nigga, I'm Jaaybo, Southeast, nigga, EBK. The nigga like, nigga, fuck the Southeast. I'm like, damn. So we get to the yard or whatever the case may be.
I'm like, damn. Hey, he already knew what time it was, fool. Hey, this nigga, hold on. Bro, where my hat go, bro? That nigga said, damn. He knew what time it was. Oh, God.
He like, bro, it's hot right now, so we gonna fade in the morning, bro. Or unless you want to go to the hub. I'm like, bro, I ain't trying to go to the hub. We gonna fade tomorrow.
Jaaybo admitted that C-Walk beat him, but during the fight, Jaaybo ended up scratching C-Walk's eye.
So we get on the yard. I ain't gonna lie, he would me. I'm sure he shake my hand like.
That nigga said, I ain't gonna lie, he would me. Bro, no. No. Hey. He a real nigga.
Yeah, for my mama, I respect you. He like, but you scratch my eye cuz you want to go again? And I keep it a band. I'm like, I ain't gonna lie, bro. We can program. He whooped me again. I ain't gonna lie. Blood whooped me again.
A lot of dudes won't admit to ever losing a fight, but Jaaybo knows that if you're really throwing down like that all the time, you can't win them all. A lot of people were clowning his homie, EBK Young Jock, for getting his chain snatched last year too. But Jaaybo said just cause you get robbed one time doesn't mean anything.
Shit happens, you feel me? That don't tarnish a nigga gangster or tarnish a nigga image just because a nigga got something took from him. I'm not saying that it's cool to get something took from you either, you feel me? But when you slip up, shit like that happens.
Some fans were surprised that Jaaybo was standing up for Young Jock though, because there used to be some tension in the EBK crew. According to rumors, Jock's older brother, Hari B, snitched on the case with EBK Osama and got him locked up. It's not clear exactly what went down, but it caused a lot of issues in the crew, and Jaaybo even dissed Hari B on the track and raps, "Hari turned rat, he couldn't take the hit. They told that nigga 20 years, he started eating cheese." Luckily they were able to squash everything though, but before they could really focus on putting EBK on the map in the rap game, Jaaybo ended up getting locked up again. In April 2023, Jaaybo caught a bunch of gun charges and was in jail for another 6 months before they let him out on bail. This time when he came back home, Jaaybo said he was really tightening up how he moved. He ended up getting out of Stockton and was way more focused on the rap game too. A lot of his music used to leak back in the day because he'd have a bunch of homies in the studio with him and the tracks would end up on the internet before they were supposed to. But Jaaybo told No Jumper he was getting way more serious about rapping and being more professional in the studio. It looked like Jaaybo was ready to go all in on his music and leave the street drama behind. But then in January 2024, news broke that EBK Jaaybo was back in jail for the gun charges he got booked for in 2023. Nobody knows why Jaaybo got locked up again, but it's probably over a probation violation. The judge didn't even want to give him bail last time because he has so many priors on his record. So if Jaaybo did violate the bond, he'll probably be sitting behind.
He in there. Oh God, hey, Jaaybo, he a real nigga, bro. He in there doing that time. He keeping it solid. I ain't gonna lie. I seen a couple. He keeping
bars till he goes to trial or takes a plea deal. Hopefully the case doesn't go left for him though. Jaaybo is buzzing more than ever in the rap game right now and has serious potential to really put Stockton on the map if he beats these charges and stays focused.
Facts, nigga. Jaaybo probably the hottest nigga out of Cali, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Shit, that's the end of this video though. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We're on the road to 2,000 subs. I'm gone. No kizzy.